Good morning again, everybody. I'm going to go ahead. It's 10 o'clock. Time of convening our Wednesday, March 23rd, 2016 State Election Board meeting. So let me again welcome you to the making office of the Georgia Secretary of State this morning. And our first order of business is our invocation and pledge of allegiance. And Mr. Worley's going to lead us in that this morning. Mr. Worley.
Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us safely here today. Please watch over us as we return to our homes. Please give the members of this board the wisdom to judge the issues before us fairly today. Amen.
Amen. Let's stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Worley. All right, good morning again, everybody. I'm going to go ahead. It's 10 o'clock. Time of convening our Wednesday, March 23rd, 2016 State Election Board meeting. So let me again welcome you to the making office of the Georgia Secretary of State this morning. In our first order, our next agenda item is public comment. Do we have any public comment, Kayla? For those of you that came in right when we were starting, we do allow for 2 minutes of public comment on issues not related to the cases that we'll be calling today. First, we have Mr. Rhines. If you will, I will just let you speak at that mic there and just give us your name and address for the record, please. Welcome.
My name is George Boston Rhines, 5004 Oak Drive, Valdosta, Georgia. And I'm with the Get To Free Press. And my 2 minutes, I just want to use it to highlight, because I can't get into detail within 2 minutes. But, Mr. Secretary, and all you important people that are dealing with voting rights here in the state of Georgia, I just want to say, and I want to be on record, that there are major problems throughout the state of Georgia that I have identified that the news media mainstream will not report. I have been reporting it, and you can see it on Boston G.B.R. YouTube channel. In Brooks County, Georgia, we have major problems in voting, as well as trying to remove black mayors across the state. I'm working about 16 cities, Mr. Secretary. Quitman, MEIGS, Lumpkin, Warrington, Gordon, Davisboro, Homerville. In Homerville, we have a sitting elected city council person who has 2 home state exemptions. One in the state of Florida, one in Lowndes County, Georgia, and he's holding office in Homerville, Georgia. These are impediments to the voting rights process, and across the state, the people and places that I've gone to, people are asking a question. What is the Secretary of State and others doing to resolve these problems that seem to impact and suppress the black vote throughout the state of Georgia? Also, Camilla, Georgia. I may not be able to call them all, but there's approximately 16 cities. And I believe that myself, a retired military veteran, I had no idea that this would be going on in 2016 to suppress, give the appearance of suppressing and controlling the black votes. And then after they get elected, the black mayors are seen to be under attack throughout the state. Now, I can prove this through videos. I go to all these cities at meetings. It's been documented, well documented. And so I'm going to take my seat. I think my 2 minutes should be up. And I always like to abide by the law because I'm a law-abiding citizen. Thank you, my beautiful Secretary. And to all of you who represent voting process in the state of Georgia, the United States of America, we have veterans here, and I do believe that they should have a right to vote without the impediments and suppression. Thank you so much for this space, my beautiful brothers and sisters.
Thank you for being here this morning.
I think we should thank Mr. Rhines for his service to America.
Absolutely. We appreciate your service as well. All right, next we have Mr. Roscoe Allen, Jr.
Square Junior. I think,
Mr. Allen, if you don't mind, would you just give us your address? For
oh, my address is, 765, physical address is 765 East Mercer Road, but I get my bill at P.O. Box 1906, Douglas, Georgia.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I do think the state need to put more heat on these supervisors and election board when it goes to vote. There's a lot of legal stuff going on. And the reason why it's going on is y'all not putting the heat where they did. See, like every year, when it comes to election, the same thing happens. These different cities, y'all don't do nothing about it. It's time to get and do something. If they don't do nothing, it's a big problem. In the state of Georgia, especially around the rural town like where I live at, in areas, it is a big problem. So y'all need to put the heat where it be at. You won't have all this problem, believe me. It ain't about no friend or whoever in charge. It's about doing what they're supposed to do. It's legal, they're doing it legal, it needs to be done right. It's a big problem in the state of Georgia. Believe me, down in my area, it's a serious problem. Every time election come up, it's always legal stuff going on with the election board. Supervisor, all of them. And that's a fight. Because I subpoenaed people in election that live in 20 miles out of the town. That's right, I did myself. 15 miles out of the town. Don't even live in the city there. You know, it's a big problem. I'm telling you now. Y'all need to put the heat where it be. I don't care who it is. That's what y'all supposed to do. Am I right? Okay, that's all I got to say.
Thank you for being here this morning. And our last speaker during public comment, Reverend Larry O'Hara. Welcome, Reverend.
My name is Reverend Larry O'Hara. I reside at 1326 Roosevelt Street, Waycross, Georgia. I want to talk about Homerville, Georgia as well, but not just Homerville. I want to talk about all the little towns where the big problems are. Where you may say where Atlanta, Augusta, or Columbus, that's where the city and that's where the most populated. But where the most populated is not where the problem is. The problem is little towns like Waycross, Homerville, Douglas, towns like that. The reason I'm talking about Homerville so much because I called the Secretary of State office several times myself. I've been calling for the last 10 years for voting fraud. Places like Willie Coochie and Homerville. Homerville is so bad there that we caught this gentleman who reside in Florida, also reside in Georgia, but holding an office in a town that he don't have a domicile in. I called the Secretary of State office 3 months when we found out what he was doing and nothing was done about it. However, nothing was done about it. He went on and we went to their office, we talked to them, gave them the information that could not be denied, and they still allowed this man to run for office. And he was elected. Now that wouldn't happen in Atlanta. If I had went to a city commissioner meeting in Atlanta, they would have stopped it right then. But this is little Georgia, little town, the town that nobody pays attention to. Mr. Secretary, what I'm asking is that you would pay more attention to the little towns, not so much the big towns. I believe that a lot of your problems with society. That's all I have to comment.
Thank you for being here, Reverend. Okay, anyone else? That was all the cards I had. Let me just address just a couple of things, just for those of you that don't know maybe some of the processes. First of all, if there's any voter suppression or anything like that going on, I hope that anybody in this room or anyone else that even knows about this discussion would contact our office immediately. I can assure you that we'll open an investigation wherever that may be, big town or small town, as we have done in the past. Also, as you know, in every election cycle, every single complaint that the Secretary of State's office receives, and you can imagine with small town and big town politics that go on during the election cycle, and certainly in a presidential year, it's heightened as well. But we take every single complaint very seriously. We open an investigation or look into every one of those matters and bring those before the state election board. So if there's those type things going on during the election, I hope that you would contact our office. We've got a website, a Stop Voter Fraud website, where you email us about that. We've got a 1-800 number that you can contact. And then lastly, I just wanted to address candidate challenges. There may be a little bit of confusion on that. A lot of the local races, the Secretary of State's office does not actually have the jurisdiction on candidate challenges. That needs to be done by a local elector, and the county elections board would be responsible for a lot of the local races. Now, we do have jurisdiction on certainly the state legislative seats and things of that nature. So, but if anybody has any questions about that, when we break, if you'll just let us know, we'll be glad to follow up with you and try to give you as much direction as we can on how that process works.
Secretary of State and the Governor have made it very purposeful that they will send the message that if you are African American and if you run for office and if you honestly win the election, you will be punished.
This is the Ghetto Free Press, and I'm George Boston Rhines, and I just received the breaking news that we have a new mayor in Quitman, Georgia. Much like the Quitman 10+2, Nancy Dennard being the first president of the Brooks County Board of Education, and now we have James Brown III, the first Black African-American mayor of Quitman, Georgia. First of all, we acknowledge that black does not make it right, but right always make it right. We must understand that the Quitman 10+2 brought Brooks County the first black majority in the history of that county. And as you know, the Quitman 10+2 was brought up on charges of alleged voter fraud, and after nearly 3 years, only one have had their day in court, and it ended up a mistrial. With all that has happened, with all of the complaints, with the elections in the past and identified problems at a particular meeting on July the 17th, 2012, highlighted major problems with the Brooks County Board of Elections, yet Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp were informed through formal complaint forms, given a DVD, among other detailed problems. And until this date, the people of Brooks County are still awaiting a response from Georgia Secretary of State and Glenn Austin, who was an investigator that came down from Macon at the bequest of the Secretary of State, yet nothing has been done. Moreover, the meeting was a total whiteout, and very little to nothing was done. This is the Ghetto Free Press, keeping you informed, because it is in time. It is indeed time that the people in South Georgia know the truth. To James Brown III, thank you. To all your family that came down from New York, and other places to congratulate you on your victory. As a graduate of Washington Street High School myself, from Brooks County, I say to you as the Muslims say, Alhamdulillah. And to the Jews, I just say shalom to you. And as the Christians, I say peace and blessings be upon you and to all the great worthies that help you in your campaign.
The witnesses lied on the stand.
Yes, yes, yes.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigation lied on the stand.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Falsified documents.
That's right.
Yes.
The Secretary of State lied on the stand.
Yes.
Sure did.
Yes. Yes.
Boone from the post office, who started this whole mess, lied on the stand,
Sure did.
Yes.
all to try to make these citizens look guilty.
Right here, George Lawson Rhines, back, and Dr. Tom Ayala. So in a minute, I'll ask you all to come on up and so I sent these questions ahead of time, just get
I'm going to say something because in my own life and during my lifetime, too many blacks and whites have suffered, have bled, have been beaten, and have died simply for the right to vote.
Greetings. Once again, this is the Get To Free Press in Quitman, Georgia, in the county of Brooks, and in the state of Georgia. This most highly profiled case dealing with the Quitman 10+2, Miss Lula Smart, third trial, dealing with alleged voter fraud here in the state of Georgia. Perhaps this is the most important trial dealing with voter registration, voting rights, and voter intimidation, perhaps in the history of the state of Georgia and in the United States of America.
Hurts me. My county commissioners, Mr. S.O. Jones, Mr. Joe Wingate, and Mr. Howard Lawson, find nothing wrong with this. They find nothing wrong with this. How community endure to have the right to have our votes cast and counted for who we want to represent us.
Anybody else wants to bring up anything else?
Why are you all out here today?
We are the soldiers of Christ, and we have the right to vote. It is wrong for others to take our right to vote, because it's very important. It's our constitutional rights.
Will y'all repeat that again for me, please?
We are the soldiers of Christ, and we have the right to vote. And it's wrong for others to take our right to vote, because it's very important. And it's our constitutional right.
Have mercy.
Myself from any activity with the board until you get that straight.
What are you doing?
I'll be glad to give you an affidavit or statement or whatever, but until that gets, settled, I don't want anybody thinking that, we're trying to do anything underhanded or above,
I understand that, Ken. I understand it, but as a board member, we have to look into it or have someone look into it.
I understand.
So that's where it has to go from there. It needs to be looked into because I don't want that to fall back in my lap.
So, in essence, then I need to suspend myself from any activity with the elections office until that gets settled.
What are you doing?
Excuse me, y'all.
Lied on the stand.
Yes.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigation lied on the stand.
That's right.
Yes.
Falsified documents.
That's right.
Yes.
The Secretary of State lied on the stand.
Yes.
Woman from the post office who started this whole mess lied on the stand.
Yes.
All to try to make these citizens look guilty.
There because we want someone who love our children, who want to make a difference in our community. That's right. It's not because we did something wrong. We just want something. We want to change. We want something better for our kids. Because Prince County is made up of black kids. So who is best to go in our school system to teach our children and let them know that you can be somebody. You could be a barber. You could be a doctor. You could be a lawyer. You could be the best that you know how to be. You don't have to go to McDonald's and work. All right. You don't have to go to the city of equipment and then they teachers. You can be the best that you can be. That's right. So why are you all making us feel like we are criminals because we want the best for our children? I'm sorry, y'all, but I get very emotional. I don't want to think about what they did to us. If I don't talk about it, it's like a dream. But when I talk about it, it's reality. I had never been to jail. I had never had handcuffs on my arms. And that hurts. That hurts. People don't realize. They're standing by looking at us. They don't realize how this hurt us. Dogs go to jail with handcuffs on us. And people think about it. People know us. People know who we are. And how dare them think that we are criminals? It's hard, y'all. It's hard. It's hard. People looking at you that he did something wrong when you know he did something wrong. I'm sorry. I thank y'all. I support us. I thank y'all for being here with us. I just thank God God bless you very much, y'all. Continue to support us, so we really need y'all. We had nothing wrong. All we want to make a difference in our community. That's all we wanted. That's all we wanted.
Is a miscarriage of justice in the state of Georgia that cannot be overlooked. The Secretary of State and the Governor have made it very purposeful that they will send the message that if you are African American and if you run for office and if you honestly win the election, you will be punished.
Wait, Malcolm, can you hand her one too?
Mary, do you mind?
Real. Thank you. All right, and if you guys can hold those mics a little lower for us, please. That would be appreciated. Mayor, how are you feeling about the results of today?
Wonderful.
And can you tell us why you were pleading the fifth to several of these questions?
Plead the fifth again, but due to the advice.
What would you like to see take place going forward?
That we all can agree and come together, work together in the unity of love, peace, and tranquility, which is peace.
What were some of your reasonings for wanting the city attorney to no longer hold that position?
Well, one, I'm really not anti. I want you all to know that I'm not anti the attorney, but he's never reached out to assist me. And as stated, I think of this as the welcome wagon. When you have a neighbor move into the community, you open up and reach out. Well, that was never given or done for me.
Madam Mayor, what can you do to lessen the tension or to make it better in terms of the council and your relationship with the attorney? I asked him the same question. What do you think you can do?
In order to make things better, there's got to be an agreement to come together, just to have dialogue, just to sit down and talk, be able to communicate what's expected of him and what he expects from me. We've got to be able to have dialogue and be willing to work together.
The opposing lawyers.
And I'd like to say, it's not like he didn't know me. He was our school board attorney when I was on the Board of Education.
The lawyers on the other side stated today that you have gone against what the courts have asked you to do several times in the past. Would you like to respond to those assessments and allegations?
Let me answer that. That's categorically untrue. Mayor Lewis never gone against what the judge has ordered. If that had been the case, then he would have found her in contempt, which he specifically did not find her in contempt. And I might add that I heard some of the comments that the lawyers made, and we disagree with those as well. The judge did not dress her down. These are overzealous lawyers seeking to revise an election that has already occurred back in November of last year. They're seeking to redo the election, which we won't stand for, and all of this with these contempt motions, these injunctions, TRO motions, these are all things that they have invented to try to suppress the vote that was made back last year, which elected Mayor Lewis and mayor of the city of Ward. Some people have not made their peace with that, and that's what this is all about. This is all about trying to reverse the election. As an African-American female that is the mayor of Gordon for the first time in history, and a lot of people can't deal with that. Pure and simple. And that's what this is all about. Let's be clear about that. There's no reason or rhyme for what we're going through here other than the fact that some people can't deal with the fact that you have for the first time in history an African-American female that's the mayor of this particular town. We're going to call it for what it is from now, and that is what it is.
It's far too late to reverse any election, so what needs to be done for there to be some sort of peace or an understanding from both sides between now and the trial date and going forward.
Well, we didn't file this, they did. So for there to be a peace, they need to withdraw their complaint, dismiss it, there'll be peace. All of this is a big futility. There's nothing that, even if they were wildly successful, there's nothing that they could do to keep this mayor from running again if they're successful in removing her from office, which is apparently what they're attempting to do. There's nothing that this judge can do to disqualify her from running for office again and getting reelected again. So this is all a big charade, a big futility, a waste of everybody's money, time, etc.
Mr. Kendall, as a recap, so what happened today? What motions did you file this morning, and what were the results of those?
Well, we filed 2 motions to prohibit certain things from happening with regards to depositions. Number 1, we filed a motion to prohibit Mr. Boone from attending the deposition of the auditor that the city has hired, Mr. Basket. They essentially withdrew the request to have him present, and therefore the judge granted our motion to prevent Mr. Boone from being present. The second motion was a motion to protect Mr. Basket from having to disclose confidential information that would be privileged based upon the accountant-client privilege that's recognized in Georgia, and the judge found that Mr. Basket didn't have a client, or alternatively, he had waived, or the city had waived the accountant-client privilege, and therefore he would have to answer any questions that Mr. Cooper or the plaintiffs put to him in a deposition. That's what was decided there. And then they filed a motion for contempt on the mayor because she sent a letter to Mr. Boone regarding his continued service as a city attorney. The judge denied their contempt motion, found that his previous order was not sufficiently clear. He amended the order to explicitly state that Mr. Boone is in fact the city attorney, and I'm here to state that we're going to forthwith appeal that order just like we have every other order that he has signed in this case. So we will be appealing that order just like we appeal every other adverse order that he has entered in this case.
Was you surprised about the judge not understanding possibly your appeal up to the Georgia Supreme Court? Well,
he was just simply uninformed as to what had happened. When we appeal, we don't necessarily send the judge a copy of the documents that indicate that we are appealing. So he was surprised and didn't know the status of what had occurred with his previous orders, and I simply enlightened him that he was in fact on appeal with his previous order up to the Georgia Supreme Court.
Okay, I'm good. Anything else? Anyone? We're good? Okay.
The judge called the mayor vicious for a bar complaint against Boone, but yet who filed the criminal contempt against the mayor, and isn't that not vicious also?
Well, it was not only vicious, but it was frivolous. There was no way that the judge could have found her in contempt of that order based on the fact that she sent Mr. Boone a letter basically clarifying his status as not being the attorney for the city. So we always felt that it was frivolous, had no basis in law or in fact, and it was just another in a series of attempts, as is this entire litigation, to redo the election which took place, which elected this woman as the mayor of the city of Gordon.
And who filed like criminal contempt?
The plaintiffs did, Edie and all the rest of the plaintiffs.
Does anybody know how many people are in the concerned citizens group?
No, I don't.
That didn't seem to know either.
Sorry, I'm just going to grab this. I apologize. Thank you.
that's been here. As a matter of fact, you might need to go back. I believe it's the personnel policy for the city of Gordon since 2007, and I've not seen it there where it was written on a Thursday. I'm trying to see if I could get you one.
I've already read it.
Just have a sit
I've already read it, and it says, the payroll ends from the second Friday.
Right, and the employees are to be paid every other Friday, is what it states. And so I'm not about what others are feeling, it's what's written in stone.
Well, what's written in stone, what's been written and recorded, as far as all the statements from all the banking, from all the payroll, has been Thursday, so that's actually policy there.
Well, until something else is proven and provided to me, it is written in stone in the personnel policy, and I don't like to,
Yeah, I understand, but I just know how policy is, practical policy and, written policy. I know if you use the daily routine, weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, whatever, and you go that many years with it, it can beat out what's written. I've been to many classes on policies.
And you may have, and I'm not,
And they tell you what you practice is policy, not by what's written down. What's written down is policy. But if you keep practicing, and like if I practice, I change and make my own policies at the police department, which I'm not supposed to do, and I can't do. But if I keep letting things go one way, and not going by the policy book, then something happens, then it falls back on top of me, and it falls back on the city. So, well, hey, he wasn't going by policy. But the employees, the way the law looks at it, was the daily practice is policy.
And just to say, and to make you, once more again, let me reiterate that this is policy that I'm practicing. No other, the bottom line is just policy. Policy for the city of Gordon that's been written in stone prior to my comment. And so I have to abide by the rules and regulations of written in the personnel policy until it's revised.
I understand
and thank
that.
you so much.
I understand that.
That's a good point. However, I wish the clerk had come to me and posed that question to me. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
It's me, I need my minute books.
Okay, let me say this. I have the minute books, and if you need them, you need to go in
Do
there.
you realize you're supposed to look at those in my presence too? I'm the official record custodian. I am responsible
Clerk
for
Brown,
those.
good afternoon. And would you please
I don't
leave?
think so.
Please exit my office, please.
It is.
You're violating.
They,
I am the official record. You're not even supposed to take those
and
out
was
of my office.
it as advised?
Those are the official
by
signed
the city
signature
attorney.
on there. You're very rude.
Leave it running. Leave it running.
And Mr. Rhines has no right to those records without open record
Please
request.
exit my office.
And don't forget
Please
you haven't done your.
exit my office.
But it
You have not
is,
signed
we
your
was
checks
advised,
either.
they was advised, she was advised by the attorney.
The city
Please
attorney told me
exit
to
my
tell you
office.
that. You're violating the
Please
rules.
exit my office. Y'all are being insubordinate.
No, ma'am, you're being rude and disrespectful to your
Exit
employees.
my office, please. Thank you.
Okay, the attorneys will be contacted.
Thank you.
From you all week since last week.
The proper papers have been signed.
This is none of your concern, Mr. Rhines.
The proper papers have been signed.
No, they have not, Mayor.
What is it that needs to be
I
signed?
told you Wednesday. You had to check this last Friday, you lost it. I did my part, I wrote the replacement check, you have not signed.
The checks that you gave me have been signed.
Huh? Transfer check. And here again, it's for after 3 o'clock, employees are not paid.
At the insistence of the clerk.
At the insistence of the mayor, she hasn't done her job. The check's sitting right here for you to sign. She already in a breach of contract.
If she had the check, why don't she?
Clerk,
Clerk, bring the check in here. If there's a check to be signed, please bring it in.
come on.
If she has a check, why would she be holding the check?
Waiting on you to sign.
That was the first thing she should have brought in for me to sign.
Well, yeah, I've been here. I've had them ready yesterday, because you told me to void them and start over. I've been waiting on you.
Clerk, hand me the checks, please.
Please sit here. I'm not letting these out of my sight again.
Please hand me the
dumbass.
checks.
Sit right here.
Please hand me
You're
the
not
checks.
gonna take these out of my presence again, because you know what happened last time.
Please hand me the checks. What checks are those?
These are the replacement
checks.
checks. They're
Thank
not to
you.
leave my office.
Thank you.
already cost the city almost $500 having to do that.
Excuse me, Susan, you're free to go.
She's waiting on her check.
Just
Just
Go
get your
get
check.
card. She can't have a check because it's not at the bank.
Oh, excuse me. Clerk, would you please come over and look at this machine? It's not operating. Clerk Hopper, please. Thank you.
What's the matter? Jams?
Jam or something. Did you get it? These are not the payroll checks.
They're transfer check. I told you that earlier in the week.
These are not the payroll. The payroll is
That,
already
if you don't
ready.
sign that 3,000 payroll check, the
The
library
payroll-
checks are going to bounce.
Just
And then you're
over
gonna be in
$3,000.
violation. One of their checks will bounce if you do not sign that check.
Okay, just go and have a seat.
No, ma'am, I'm not letting those out of my sight. No, ma'am. You done lost one set of them.
Excuse
Come on,
me.
Mike.
I will come in my office and I will sign.
We
the
will
check.
come in here with you.
And you are not allowed.
I'm coming in there with you.
You are not allowed in my office, clerk.
I want the checks back, ma'am.
You will get them back.
Come on, Mike.
You will, just stand right there.
I'm gonna sit here and watch you sign them and put them back in my hand.
Thank you.
Would you like to be treated like this over your check? I wouldn't either. I've been trying since last Friday to get this done.
Wow. I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
I think you do, but, you know.
Never, ever. These are the same two individuals that said Mayor Turner stood over them and treated them
He has
like
never treated us as
slaves.
bad as you. Nobody in
And
my life.
prior to my being sworn in, they sat right there and said that the mayor told them that he could fire them up a minute before I was sworn in. Now, this came from the chief of police.
That didn't come from
and
me,
the
said he
clerk.
couldn't fire me.
That's her opinion. Just let her
Yeah.
have it. He has never treated me in the manner that you have. Nobody in my entire life.
That was what you stated.
No, ma'am, I
Please
disagree
be
with
quiet.
you. Excuse me. Not even employees.
You already
employers
usurping
can talk to.
authority.
You're right. Thank you, Mike.
This room here's the coldest room, and it's the hottest
Yep.
room. It's the hottest in the wintertime, and it's the coldest in the summertime. Because where that ductwork runs from that air conditioner outside to here, it's a smaller room, and this here gets cold in the winter, I mean, in the summertime, it gets hot in the wintertime. It's hard to keep it regulated.
Yeah, that's why it needs to be on its own.
They just need ductwork.
Because see, what happens is that when it's hot in there, it's cold in here.
That's
So
what I'm
gonna
saying,
have
it's
to get
cold.
it rerouted, so that'd be something I can put on the, that'd be something I'll put on the
We actually,
agenda
we
to
actually
get
talked about
someone
it,
to come in.
we actually talked about it before about having it done.
Mm-hmm, that's gonna be something.
Because it
that-
stays hot in the big office, because it's a big room.
Exactly.
And they said the air conditioning folks said that they could redo the ductwork to redirect most of the air, the cold air and the hot air into the bigger room.
Oh, thank you for the, invoice, copies
You're
of the
welcome.
invoice. These were the first that I've had.
That's the second copy
I've
you've
gone
had.
through all of this
That's
and
the
it's
second
not in
copy
there.
you've had.
It's the first.
Second, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's do it right there. And, the employees' checks were, signed Wednesday.
They're
So
no good
that
without
should
the
not-
transfer checks.
Yeah, we can't cash
They're
them
no
unless
good
we
without
got
the
money.
transfer
That
checks.
should not be a
It's a
problem.
big problem.
That should not be a
You
problem.
don't
They were
understand how
signed.
payroll works. I've tried to tell you numerous times.
Um,
Not being rude, but I just wanted you to understand.
I understand.
Without the
too.
transfer checks, the money's not in there to meet the payroll checks. You have to do it.
And, to, bring the chief of police in
Yes,
to.
ma'am.
to,
He wanted his check.
Right.
She didn't
They've
bring him in
already been
enough,
signed.
and I come in
They've
Yes,
already
Lord.
relying on the checks.
Excuse me.
Yes, Lord.
I can't talk over you all, and I'm not going to talk over you all.
Now, because I'm telling you the fact about it, the reason why I come in, don't make accusations about why I come in. I come in
Chief,
from my
I
own,
need to,
come in from my own will for
I need
my
you to be
employees'
quiet.
checks. And I will be quiet now.
Thank you.
I got it out what I need to say.
thank you. This has never been a problem. Let's see.
I mean, I never come in here and never disrespect you. I've always been nice like
And I would
you
hope
to
today
you.
that you don't ever start today, as of today. This is the first and last that you would ever come in and even, with anything inquiring, because first of all, it should have been dealt with by the clerk.
I've been
Clerk
trying
Brown.
since last Friday, ma'am.
And because you
I've done all I
came
can do.
in, I mean, it doesn't set the tone for anything except to make matters worse.
Now, I've been trying for a whole week. You have not cooperated.
Excuse me. Before I do anything, y'all let's see.
Go ahead. You walk faster.
Yep.
This is what I do. I have a copy of all the checks that I have ever received. Now let's make a copy, keep a copy for my records.
I do too, and I got it where only my name's on the check and hers is not because she lost them.
I never received. I can't lose
She got
anything.
them. I
I
saw them
never
in her
had.
hand Friday
This is the
and
clerk.
never came
This
back.
is a typical example of what the mayor goes through.
I am the official records custodian. That is my job. That's all I'm gonna say.
Since day one, this is what the mayor has encountered. I refuse to have an employee subject myself to such disdainfulness. I mean, in the previous times, it was stated that I, as a mayor, said that I would file them. I was lied on then, I'm being lied on now. Never said a word to either one of them.
I'm so glad you got that part recorded, sir. Thank you.
I personally told them that. Never.
You person told us what?
Say that one more time.
I didn't even hear you.
Yes, he's got it.
Know the truth, and the truth will set you free.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Quite welcome.
I'm sure the employees will too. Thank you.
Quite welcome.
There's a battery holding up, man.
Have a good day.
Let's get back to the back.
The mere fact of the matter is this is what I have to endure. And let it be known for the record that we will have to get someone in, a higher administrator to deal with this. The clerk is totally, the chief is totally out of order. And be it known today that I would like to have a copy of the record of this video or DVD to send to Judge Robert Reeves. Thank you. I'm not employed with her. The chief of police works at the service of the mayor, not the mayor works for the chief of police. Thank you.
But Mayor, why you think they were coming in here like that? How can they get that much authority? You think that maybe it's in with the attorney or other people?
Well,
How they've done it so long? I mean, that was very bold and very confident.
And she was very adamant that the attorney told her what to do and what to say.
So that means what? I mean, the attorney.
The attorney.
Did he advise you?
City attorney. No. I've not received a call. I've not even said a good afternoon or thank you from the clerk. She just.
Well, when you said you want Judge Reeves, why you want Judge Reeves to see this?
He's the chief judge that gave his ruling as to this situation, and he needs to know. Thank you. No, we're not opening for discussion.
I'll make a motion that we turn down these minutes because they are not official. That is my motion.
We will not have anyone speaking out. Chief, not from the audience. We are the one that's conducting business, not the audience. So if you either do your job or you let
I know what disorderly is, and I want to tell you that. And this is not disorderly. If you got to do something to me, then you just have to do it to me. That's all I got to say. Hush. I appreciate it, but hush.
Council, what we will do is that we will need to go. Can I get a recommendation that we just adjourn?
I offer a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
Yes, sir. You had something to say?
Yeah, I have one observation, really, and that is when the council first voted on the audit, you had 6 council members was present, and you had 5 voted for the audit, and 1 voted against the audit. It is rumored that one person made a statement to another member, "You are a disgrace to the white race." Well, if that's not racist, I don't know what is. He also said, and I quote, "If I go to jail, you are going to go to jail also. So why you want to support it?" Those statements have never been put on the air, in the news, in the newspaper, in the Wilkinson Post. I'm wondering why. I spoke to Channel 41 about it, and their comment was, and I quote, "I understand, I was there, I heard it, I've written tape, but from our vantage point, it is not newsworthy." And that will tell you exactly what I'm saying.
So now, Mr. Lew, what you are saying is that, I mean, when you first started, my question to you was, is this a figment of your imagination? But now you have stated on camera before the people and citizens in Gordon, in the state of Georgia, and for Eric Holder of the Department of Justice that also have a civil rights division that deals with racial issues, you making it unequivocally clear that somebody witnessed what was said, yet our newspapers have ignored or said that it was not newsworthy, when in, let me repeat, when in Lumpkin, Georgia, a white female city councilman allegedly referred to Mayor Gibson, and I went and covered the story because I was called to that area, referred to him as a nigger. They told me don't use the N-word, but call it what it is because we're at 2014. So you're saying what you just said can be substantiated and verified by certain individuals. Who else was there that saw or heard what you were saying?
I would say the mayor reported it, number one.
Okay.
at the meeting.
Okay.
Nobody.
Okay, so this was at a public meeting?
Yes.
City council meeting?
City council meeting. And that was not put in the minutes.
Wait a minute. You're saying that somebody is not putting the beef of the minutes in the minutes?
Amen, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Tawana Brown.
What's the name?
City clerk.
Go ahead, what's the name?
Her name is City Clerk Tawana Brown. I was there at that meeting when Mayor Lou discussed that. She said point blank that Terry Edie made the comment to City Council member Smallwood.
Thomas Smallwood.
Exactly. Said that, well, you ought to just paint your face black. Now, if that's not a racist comment, I don't know what is. Do we want a person of that nature, of that character, being Mayor Pro Tem for us? Do we want that person to step up? Now, they got a good one, Mayor Lou. Now they're trying to put in, what? A disgrace. We support Mayor Lou.
We support the mayor. We support the mayor.
Mayor, before you start, I want to object to the notice for the call meeting. Because it
Excuse
was
me.
not a location day of the call meeting. And I
Excuse
consider
me.
this a
This is,
special meeting, and I want that on the record tomorrow.
City of Gordon, call meeting, council agenda.
First one was the attorney status. I make a motion that Boone, Scotty Boone, and his associates be recognized as the city attorney from this point on.
His associates.
Yes, ma'am.
He's the city attorney. How can he
His
say-
law firm, Boone, Scotty Boone, and his associates.
So the council is hiring him and his associates. I'm just trying to get clarity. I don't need it from the audience, Ms. Bailey. As a
That's not what he
journalist.
said. He said to recognize them.
Excuse me.
Look, I sat here and been quiet, graded in public, at the mayor's approval. I don't have to leave. If you, then you'll have to arrest me. Huh? Get pictures. Come on, take it to jail, book me. Right now. We'll bind you.
What I'm trying to clearly understand once more again, council, when we, your statement, I'm just trying to get clarity. I don't need it from the audience, Ms. Bailey. As a
That's not what he
journalist.
said. He said to recognize them.
Excuse me.
Look, I sat here and been quiet, graded in public, at the mayor's approval. I don't have to leave. If you, then you'll have to arrest me. Huh? Get pictures. Come on, take it to jail, book me. Right now.
The first one was the attorney status. I make a motion that Boone, Scotty Boone, and his associates be recognized as the city attorney from this point on.
His associates.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to address the mayor, can I say one more thing? I want to address the fact, and I'm not ashamed to address the gap that's in order as long as we get getting. On my personal level, I don't trust it. That's me. I'm speaking for me. Because when I get a lawsuit for this city and my name in there, and Mr. Boone said I talked to him, blah, 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 and he only presented one side, I got a side too. Now, I know what transpired with some conversations we had. I'm speaking on my side. I cannot work with people I don't trust. In 19 years, I have never called to ask any legal advice. Now we get these calls, get legal advice. Everything we say to get the information to move the city forward is thrown against us. It's open meeting violation. You shouldn't have done this. You harassed us. I have not harassed anybody. That's not my name. And I don't appreciate reading in a lawsuit, you harass somebody. Why not get my side before you do the lawsuit? You was an attorney that represents the city.
not half of it.
All right.
And I don't appreciate that. That's my standard, that I cannot work with people that I cannot trust.
There you go. Thank you, Councilman. Streets, Council Whipple.
Mayor, before you start, I want to object to the notice for the call
Excuse
meeting.
me.
Because it was not a location day of the call meeting. And I
Excuse
consider
me.
this a special meeting, and I want that on the record tomorrow.
City of Gordon, call meeting, council agenda.
Mayor, if there's not a quorum, you cannot open the meeting.
Excuse me.
I want that on the record too
This
tomorrow.
is not a call meeting.
That's what it says. You notify everybody that it's a call meeting, Mayor.
The mere fact of the matter is that it was a call meeting, but due to the fact, we've just started, and it takes 4 to make a quorum.
That's true.
So if 4 are not here present, then it cannot be called, we cannot hold a meeting.
That's correct.
But, and we don't need response from the audience. It would be nice if everybody would just, sit and be attentive as adults are with the water. And,
It's not a meeting.
this is not a meeting, so you can excuse yourself. And this discussion is very critical because it demands our most urgent attention and action. And we have until the 10th of April to comply with EPA's regulation.
It's not a meeting. It's not a meeting. It's not a meeting. What's gonna happen? So?
Council,
There's no
Whipple has
council
done a
here,
great
Mayor.
job
There's no council here, Mayor. It's
Yeah.
not a quorum. You cannot call this
G.B.R.
council. This is not a meeting.
This is just a public talking, that's all it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, just
Thank you.
discussion.
Thank you, Chief.
Take that off the record, it's not a meeting.
Okay, money is the city. And we really need to discuss this. We really need to discuss this. And we really, and I personally, like I said, talked with councils, and they did tell me that they would be here. Then they tell the clerk something else. So we don't know if you say
You
you're
know
gonna do
why
this
the
today,
lady's
you're
not
gonna do
here
this
that's
tomorrow.
coming and discussing?
Those people said
She
they were
can
gonna
still
do it.
discuss with us.
Teresa, if you remember correctly, you and Barbara missed about 8 or 9 meetings in a row last summer.
Oh, ma'am, we did not.
Yes,
We're not here to discuss about that. If you're gonna print something in your paper,
Yes,
I
ma'am,
really
I am.
appreciate that you would not put untruth in there. Please
Yes,
put
ma'am.
the truth in there. I missed 2 meetings. Thank you.
And so did I, 3 at the most.
Mayor and council, I want to say this to you as I close for sure. When I was called a nigger twice, I'm not calling no names. I'm not going to use the video that I turned around. I'm not going to do that. Why am I not going to do that? Because that's not what it's about. What it's about is building a better city. Whether it's MEIGS, Quitman, Warrington, Davisboro, that's what it's about. When I was in the military, they didn't tell me nothing about no black and no white, no Democrat, no Republican. They told me to do what I need. I served during the Vietnam era. They didn't need all that. Yes, sir. Y'all have any questions for me? Yes, sir.
Mr. Ryan?
Yes.
I have a question.
Please do. Yes, all questions.
Do you now live in Gordon?
No, I do not live in Gordon.
And so you're not a citizen of Gordon?
No, I'm not a citizen here of the city of Gordon. And, well, no. Yes, of course, she deserves the answer. Yeah. And the answer is, no, I do not. I enrolled in the military in 1971. I didn't serve Gordon. I didn't serve Thomasville, Valdosta, Atlanta, none of them. Or neither of Puerto Rico or our outlying territories. I serve for everybody. And that's why I serve everybody. So when I'm called to these communities, I go because I care. That's why I go. Nobody give me no gas for coming up here for the most part. I do it because I love people. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So my question is, you're under the citizens talking time, and are you appearing as a citizen of Gordon or as a journalist, or how are you appearing here? If you're appearing as a journalist, why does the mayor stop me from speaking?
Madam, I go to a lot of cities. I'm very familiar with the laws of addressing city council. I have no idea, but I will say this. If the mayor stopped you from doing what I'm doing tonight as a journalist to get to Free Press under the name of George Boston Rhymes, if she stopped you after you put in the request to speak as I put in the request, she is wrong in my opinion. If you put in a request tonight, I think that you have a right to be doing the same thing that I'm doing, and I wish you would have. Now that's just the way I see it. Jesus said, what I say unto one, I say unto all. And so if you can't do it unto all of us, don't do it into any of us.
That's right.
Yes.
You said you don't try to belittle anybody or make them feel bad. When you hold the newspaper up that I publish and make criticisms about that newspaper, that's offensive to me because you're not going off fact. You're only going off opinion and your emotional feelings. And that's offensive to me.
Madam, I got you. She deserves an answer.
Listen, I'm not saying that, but
The
go ahead and
newspaper's
address
trash.
this.
Mike,
Go ahead
this
and,
lady's talking
excuse me.
out over here. This lady just called the newspaper trash, and she's talking out of turn.
Excuse me, ladies, right now. You will address that and we will end this. Okay, please, thank you.
Editor Judah, baby, I will say this to you. If what I spoke was an error, or if I spoke that offended you, from my heart, I'm sorry. But from my observation, from what I know to be untruths, just like today's paper, I can sit with you, if you would like at any time, with the camera rolling. And let's dialogue the apples and oranges, and let's find out. Somewhere I read, come let us reason together. And that's what is happening in this world today. People are not willing to sit down and reason. It ain't about an argument, because if people looking for somebody to argue with George Boston Rhymes, I'm sorry, you got the wrong one. I don't argue.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Excuse me, Miss Bailey.
I'm speaking.
No, I said after he speaks, that would be the end.
Why you didn't cut him
Please
off?
have a
He went
seat.
over his 3 minutes.
We are moving further along because you kept asking questions. That's from the mayor. All right, let's have a seat. That's the end of that. So now, moving further along, you and him will have to get together. Y'all can answer all the
I
questions
don't have
you want.
anything else to say to him.
Pass this up.
You don't think people make errors?
I'm sorry?
You don't think people make errors on their own? I've already picked up that, and I've already called the auditor right and right, and their lady, Miss Patricia, made an entry error on that. Call them and ask them. $1,430,000. It's supposed to be $21,000. It's a one-line item error. Okay? And it's a revenue, showing as a revenue, it's not a cash. That $21,000 is what it's supposed to be.
You made an entry at $1.4 million. That was a credit to alcohol and beverage tax. What was the other side of the entry?
$1,434,000.
What's the other side?
If that added together, subtract 21 from it, that's what it goes to.
What is the other side of the entry? It's a double entry accounting system. You have a credit to the revenue account. What's the difference?
It's a club, 1434.
Yes, that's the credit. What's the debit? And to what account?
It's under alcohol beverage tax.
That's the credit. What's the debit?
Look, they're both explained. There's no debit. It says over budget or under actual budget is all it says.
You're not an accountant, right?
No, sir, I'm not an accountant. Hush! Tell me the line that you're looking at or what you want to say.
Okay. The other side of the, when you make, in accounting systems, you have, it's a double entry system. You make an entry to credit the franchise tax, the alcohol beverage tax. You have to have a debit offset the balance of the books. Okay? So you credit the alcohol beverage tax, you debit something else. That's what is the debit. What's the debit you pick?
I did not make this entry. This is the year in all the adjustments from last year.
So you don't know the other side.
She has given me the correction today. She said she did the wrong account. I have to correct it, and I will get paid for it.
I'll tell you what the other side of the entry was. You made an entry to the fixed assets for $1.4 million. I don't understand why you would do something like that. Or why any, okay, well, who else puts information into the QuickBooks files?
I'm not supposed to be talking.
You're not supposed to be talking. I don't understand that either.
But I like we're going to explain to you.
Well, I hate to say that right was wrong this time because that was not a proper. The entry makes no sense. $1.4 million fixed assets, $1.4 million credit to the alcohol beverage tax. The entry made no sense. Okay? That was brought to my attention, and so I'm bringing it up now. Okay, you say you want to hear examples of things.
I found that myself. I would look over these numbers every month. Ask Ms. Brown, didn't I call her and ask her the same question? Where and why? And she told me that it was an error on Ms. Right, it comes down for.
But you didn't know what the other side of the entry was.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I was saying, Councilman, you didn't see that? This is what they're discussing.
I mean, it stands out. I mean, it's hard to miss it.
Well, I have a problem with all of a sudden, therefore, you got cast out, didn't you say? The old saying was, where's the money, man?
Right.
As soon as you go out, the sign on the thing said, the money's in the bank. It slipped in through the back door.
Oh.
That's how I got in the bank. 1.4 million.
That money's not there.
If that money's not there, then all these figures, this is money on paper. A lot of this is money on paper. We need in order to see exactly where we stand and liquid asset and everything is.
Exactly.
Because we don't know.
I want a clean slate. That's all.
The entry made no sense to me. I went and looked at the, if you get revenue in from the alcohol beverage tax, it goes through the general fund. I went to look in the general fund to see if there was a deposit for anywhere near that kind of money. No, there's no deposit for money. It's just a flat journal entry for whatever reason. I had no idea. And you want to see examples of things, so I brought up an example of things. You know, I don't know what it is.
It didn't surprise me. I saw it. You didn't surprise me with it. I already knew it. And I'd already questioned the right people to find out the right answer.
I wish I could come up with
right
something.
and right.
I wish I could come up with something you're not surprised about at this point in time. But the things I'm seeing, I still haven't.
Be very careful where you go with your statements. I'm not going to put up with it if you continue to make accusations, okay?
Question, attorney. I'm sorry, Councilman.
Yes,
Councilman. Now, to attest to this, can you explain to me that you got on the witness stand accordingly and said that I, the mayor, is bankrupting the city by stealing grant money and all bankrupting the city, so
No, ma'am.
I can
never
agree.
said that. Read the transcript. You will not see where Terry Eady said that.
The mayor's bankrupt the city, so all of a sudden, the money's gone. Where's the money? Now you put the sign out there, we're happy, happy, happy. The money's back in the bank. I want to know which door did it come into.
Are y'all really using signs and banners?
The next outburst, we will have.
They didn't have an outburst the whole night.
Y'all be quiet. Everybody be quiet.
That's enough now.
as I said, the money's back, so we're happy. Show us how it got back. Auditor.
I can't show you how I got back. I can't get back in there and look. So I don't know. You know, I'm been removed from looking at this stuff. I just get things sent to me from time to time to say, look at this. This looks funny to me. That's the best I can do at this point. I still have my list of things that I want to go investigate. The transfers of monies, the investigation in certain accounts. I really don't want to go into a whole lot of detail of the things I want to do because I don't want to give away the things I'm looking at. Because they could be changed and altered and purged. I don't need that to happen to make my audit even tougher. Does that not make sense?
Yes, sir.
I can't explain everything I'm going to do as I go through it. When I finish it, I'll give you a full report of everything that I see and the funny transactions that happen. That's what I'll give you. Okay. And I'm doing this in the best interest of the city. Okay? I wish you would just accept that. If you don't accept that, then when it comes up to vote no. Okay? Vote no. I want you to have all the information you need to be able to vote yes or no. I'd rather you vote yes. If you want to vote no, vote no.
Keep moving forward.
Okay? Is that clear enough? That's...
Bill, let me ask you a question. On those QuickBooks in the year 2009, in August of 2009, there was $2 million moved from Georgia Farms 1 that went to Magnolia Bank to purchase the CD.
Quiet, please.
During that same time period, that year, there was a $2 million adjustment on the QuickBooks. Why was there a $2 million adjustment on the QuickBooks?
I don't know why there was an adjustment.
Mr. One, do you know why there was a $2 million adjustment?
It had to go through the bank. Ask Melissa Morris Bank. She can explain it to you. When we moved that CD from Magnolia to Morris Bank, when we got to Morris Bank, she had to run it through the general fund account, some kind of banking transaction. Okay? But that money is actually that $2 million CD that we have now at Morris Bank. It's the same $2 million transfer from place to place.
Okay, but I have a problem with the money was moved from Georgia Transfer 1. We see that in the QuickBooks. We see where the money's moved, and it decreased the amount of money that was in the Georgia Transfer 1 down to $500-something thousand. Then, yeah, it was $2,500,000 in there until the $2 million was moved. Once the $2 million was moved, that left $563,000 in the Georgia Fund 1. Why, later on down, we got an adjustment in the QuickBooks for the year for $2 million?
That was another one of those year-end audit adjustments that Right and Right made.
$2 million?
But that's where it went through the bank, and they had to take it out of the general fund.
Now that's something that I feel we need to really look into.
But it's all their document. I found it the other day, right on the bank statement. It's all documented. And we called Melissa Morris Bank. She'll verify.
One of the problems with the Georgia One Fund was it hadn't been reconciled in at least 10 years. It needed to be looked at. And I was looking at the transaction, and those are the transactions I want to follow to see where the money came from and where it went to. You look at all the where all it went, all the types of the checks to make sure everything's being done the way it's supposed to be done. But they did say down here, accordingly, we do not express an opinion on the effectiveness of the city of Gordon's internal control. Basically, they are not really happy with internal control, and you can't have good internal controls in a situation where you have one person doing all the functions. That in itself will have poor internal controls. Now, you have a small office, so there's really it's difficult what you can do about it. But it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to get somebody in there to help out, so you can divide the functions a little bit. But that's well, but there's not enough. There's not enough internal control. I promise you.
So the council is hiring him and his associates. I'm just trying to get clarity. I don't need it from the audience, Ms. Bailey.
That's not what he said. He said to recognize them.
Excuse me.
Look, I sat here and been quiet, graded in public, at the mayor's approval. I don't have to leave. If you get, then you'll have to arrest me. Get pictures. Take a picture, please.
We'll find him.
Don't put your hands on me. Don't put your hands on me. Do not put your hands on me.
Leave. You leave. Come on.
She gonna
You leave. You leave.
got the wrong
She's
way.
gonna
You
leave.
never put your hands on me no more. Okay, who you eat?
Hey, you gonna calm down, so.
Once again, this is why I say that the governor of the state of Georgia must do something
You hype stuff up
to bring about.
Kelly, you leave too. I'm tired of hearing your voice. Leave.
You
You going to
gotta,
jail.
Eddie, tell George Boss tries to get that camera out of my face and I
He has all right to video you. Kelly, leave. Leave or you going to jail.
I'm trying. Don't be like, don't.
Kelly, just go.
I'm trying.
Go.
Like that. It's a shit starter.
Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press.
Once again.
Give your
Once more. Once more.
in recording and said nothing to anybody. I only report what others ignore. And we will continue to do that.
Making points with the mayor, she hasn't called it back. She allows this person.
Like that. It's a shit starter. Like that. It's a shit starter. Like that. It's a shit starter. I got here at 5:30, sugar. I don't care. I got here at 5:30, so. Claire, can you come stand over here because they're talking about how they're gonna knock us down and knock us out of the way when the doors open. You shut up. You don't tell me shut up. You shut up.
As you can see, the tensions are high here at this meeting.
Not for that, really. I mean,
We can hear everything you're saying.
whatever. Stop trying to ear hook and listen to what I'm really saying.
I ain't got to listen to you, honey. Something to me when I've done nothing to you. This is the second time this has occurred. Now, I think this is, no, I didn't. There were three times in one night when I went to across the street, people stepped out of it. And this is only the third time I've been here in several months.
Right there. He was, I can tell you what happened. Y'all stand back. Excuse me, Sean. He came right here with his video camera. She was coming out. I had to say, excuse me. He was holding the camera steadily on her. Standing right here would not even allow me to come through. I had to go and holler, excuse me, Roy.
This is what happened.
This is,
Tommy, can you help me clear this? Everybody just needs to get so I can get squared away. All right. Wait, can you help me clear this? Everybody needs to
Come on, Marianne, I'm over there. Come on up.
Madam Mayor, Madam Mayor,
I was there.
Madam Mayor.
Oh, you was?
Give me just a minute.
Oh, okay.
Don't say that.
I didn't know you were there.
Yes, I was. And I'm not afraid to say
Let's step down now. But you tell me on camera what happened
Right.
down there, since you say
I
you
will.
was here.
I was right there.
No,
Camera, camera,
Let's step down
right.
here by the city hall. Go
I
step
will.
over there.
I will. Yeah. This is the truth. Jude.
Come on up right here, man. Hold on, we crazy.
No, they ain't right.
No, he says they won't work.
Stop that.
Madam Mayor, would you tell me what you saw?
As I was proceeding to come out of the city annex door, this guy, the grenade guy, I think his grenade was said. The gentleman came up with his camera as if he was planning something, pulled it out, had it in his hand, walked there at the middle where that number is 108, and Ms. Well came out talking to me, and he interrupted her and had the camera on her. Okay, had the camera up on her, and she asked him to move the camera, and he wouldn't. And as I asked him to excuse me to go in to get the sergeant to come out and take me so that I could leave, to escort me out, I had to say 2 or 3 times, excuse me. And so it went from there.
Okay. Well, did you voluntarily
try to explain what happened, or will you provide a statement to the police
I will.
since you say you was there?
Yes, I will.
Okay,
No problem.
why don't you go and get on record with the chief of police and tell him that you saw and that you would like to make a statement, if not tonight, some other time?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press. We just want the truth, that's all.
I don't know what happened. I saw him inadvertently. Exactly. But I saw this lady.
Mr. Grimes, you gotta leave too. Back up from here, okay?
It's 50, law 50 feet. Want me to go back 50 feet? That's the law.
No, sir. Being asked to leave because hostility's been going on, okay?
Okay, well, we'll leave.
That's the reason
I'm
I'm
a law
asking
abiding
everybody to leave,
I
okay?
will leave. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm asked to leave, and 50 feet I've been told, but he said everybody been asked to leave. So for the peace and harmony of everybody, I guess we'll leave.
He's fine. I sure will. He asked about you the other day.
Tell him I'm trying to
said
stay
every
up
time
trying
he
to
said-
get everybody paid. By the time I think this noise settle down, I gotta worry about it because it's
Mayor,
talking
can I interrupt y'all? I've got to run, but I want y'all, I ain't got to get you, brother, but you can stay right there. I just want you to know I was riding down and we left the bank, right? The group of people called me a nigger. There were about 6 of them, they called me a nigger.
What?
And so I recorded, I got it on film. I want you to look at them. We're going to find out who those people are.
I know who they are.
It was a group of them.
Well, they told me I ought to be ashamed of myself.
It was a group of them.
I saw them.
You saw them?
I waved at
But
them.
when I passed by, that's what they called me.
Really?
They called me a nigger. And guess what I did right in the middle of the street?
What's that?
I stopped and got my camera. I said, what did you say? I said, where's the nigger?
I mean, I won't say nothing, but the city hasn't grown. There is nothing in Gordon to show if grants have come through, what happened to them? What happened to them? Look at Gordon. There's nothing there. The city hasn't grown. Ever since I was a child, the city looked like it looks now.
Let me ask you another question, then I'll be through. Why do you all think, since y'all been there so long in this city, why do you think that the mayor very seldom grants interviews to the news media?
Well, I can answer that.
Very good question.
I have had bad experience, not per se with WMAZ or 41, but with the Wilkerson County people. I mean, they take things and they twist it around, and it's just a bunch of junk. I think they need to pattern themselves after the Macon paper, maybe the Milledgeville paper, because that is junk. You know, this is the biggest sale they ever had in the history of paper sale. And it's trash, it's junk.
Can you give me an example of what they say, how they twist?
Just different things that they say, they just twist it from, from past experience. Myself, I know I told them something, and I don't care to share it, but they took it and they twisted it around. It was not what I said. And Ms. Lou, she had the same experience.
The reason why Gordon has all these different accounts because, you got criminals that working in the judicial system.
That's right.
And no matter how high official that you may be or whatever's going on, the audit was what really started the problem in the city of Gordon.
Right.
The council first voted on the audit. You had 6 council members was present, and you had 5 voted for the audit, and 1 voted against the audit. It is rumored that one person made a statement to another member, "You are a disgrace to the white race." Well, if that's not racist, I don't know what is. He also said, and I quote, "If I go to jail, you are going to go to jail also. So why you want to support it?" Those statements have never been put on the air, in the news, in the newspaper, in the Wilkerson Post. I'm wondering, Why? I spoke to Channel 41 about it, and their comment was, and I quote, I understand, I was there, I heard of it on tape, but from our vantage point, it is not newsworthy. And that will tell you exactly what I'm saying.
So now, Mr. Lou, what you are saying is that, I mean, when you first started, my question to you was, is this a figment of your imagination? But now you have stated on camera before the people and citizens in Gordon, in the state of Georgia, and for Eric Holder of the Department of Justice that also have a civil rights division that deals with racial issues, you making it unequivocally clear that somebody witnessed what was said, yet our newspapers have ignored or said that it was not newsworthy, when in, let me repeat, when in Lumpkin, Georgia, a white female city councilman allegedly referred to Mayor Gibson, and I went and covered the story because I was called to that area, referred to him as a nigger. They told me don't use the N-word, but call it what it is because we're at 2014. So you're saying what you just said can be substantiated and verified by certain individuals. Who else was there that saw or heard what you were saying?
I would say the mayor reported it, number one, at the meeting.
Okay.
Nobody.
Okay, so this was at a public meeting?
Yes.
City council meeting?
City council meeting. And that was not put in the minutes.
Wait a minute. You're saying that somebody is not putting the beef of the minutes in the minutes?
Amen. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Tawana Brown.
What's the name?
City clerk.
Go ahead. What's the name?
Her name is City Clerk Tawana Brown. I was there at that meeting when Mayor Lou discussed that. She said point blank that Terry Edie made a comment to City Council Member Smallwood.
Thomas Smallwood.
Exactly. Said that, well, you ought to just paint your face black. Now, if that's not a racist comment, I don't know what is. Do we want a person of that nature, of that character, being Mayor Pro Tem for us? Do we want that person to step up? Now, they got a good one, Mayor Lou. Now they're trying to put in, what? A disgrace. We support Mayor Lou. We support the mayor. We support the mayor.
You're making things out of hand.
No, I'm not. I'm just stating. You made a statement.
Go
I
around and
accept
ask
it.
some black friends, look at
I'm not
promoted people and everything.
Excuse me, what's your...
I don't want to be on camera.
Okay, good. That's good. That's all. Thank you very much.
Because I didn't know be on camera.
Thank you.
He'll talk without the camera.
Thank you. held accountable for what they have done to the image of our beloved nation and our republic. They should not get away by bringing bogus charges up like they did on the Quitman 10+2. And Ms. Latasha Hayes, she was a lupus patient. She died. She died before she was cleared of all charges. She died, y'all. I interviewed her husband, and he said that he believes she died from the stress that the state of Georgia thrust upon her along the line of political advantage for the Republican Party. What a sad day in the neighborhood. This is Joe at Boston Rhymes. Bye-bye. I'm gone. And may truth forever speak for itself in the eyes of the God of our ancestors, in the eyes of the God of our ancestors, forevermore.
I say something, the judge said, come on. And he told, I had sent this, I filed this faxes over to the 35.
No,
to the clerk,
girl, I'm putting
the
this
judge,
book
you know,
out.
judge, I said, this is what the law says. I've been through this many a time.
But you know what it happened is, he had messed around and let you in the courtroom the last time.
And you realize he made a mistake.
That's what he got. He said, I was walking down the hallway.
Thank you, baby. I love you too.
Go ahead, bro. Come on, finish what you said. He said, I was
I ain't gonna forget him.
Living. He walked in, he said his paper, right?
I ain't gonna forget him, I'm just saying.
Living.
Because she was there to help me out with saving dinners and
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
So she
He still had his paper. I was walking down the hallway the last time. He a good showmanship too.
Yeah.
I said I walked in the hallway the last time.
Yeah.
We went through this.
Yeah.
And this is the same thing. I did the same thing. But this is what the law said.
And you know something? I'm gonna
Here's what really got him. See, he thought he had brushed me off.
Let me come back to the little
And I raised my hand.
That's right.
But see, I wasn't let it push me away like that.
Right, that's right.
When I raised my
But
hand.
see, that is at the heart of why you win. That you never, ever bend or give up.
That's right.
See,
you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what sets this apart
Yes.
from Corrine Brown's shit.
Never give up.
That's right.
What he did to you.
That's right.
He thought he embarrassed you.
That's right. That's right.
He embarrassed you, but you said right there patient. Okay? You said right there patient. You with your little pad, and your sister was there, you know what I'm saying? And that ate him, but you moved from the third seat to the front.
I didn't know you watching that.
Oh yeah. Hey, Bishop Brooks gonna watch everything.
When I saw the foods, or I said right in front of this attorney's face too. When they walking in the crowd.
Oh yeah.
I said, y'all son of a bitch, set y'all damn self up.
And
I said, y'all won that case, what?
Go ahead, bro. What you talking about?
But they did.
But
they did.
I said, y'all won that case.
But I'm gonna tell you how they did.
Y'all that drama play.
I'm gonna tell you how they do it. I'm gonna tell you how they won that case.
You old liver,
okay? You remember when I said? Remember when I said that you can't take the lie and make the truth?
That's right.
What happened was two things that they took and put as truth that was a lie. Okay? The first thing was them 13 things that you say they shouldn't have put in. That shit was everything they read.
That was powerful.
That was powerful. Everything they read.
Those 13 ones.
That's right.
That was good stuff.
When they start talking about, they start talking about checklists missing, dates missing, signature not being in.
But they right. You done see what your attorney offense was if it would have had to go to the appeal.
That's correct.
But it didn't have to go to the appeal.
That's correct.
What they failed to realize.
That's right.
If y'all listen to the shooting last night when they had the town hall meeting on CNN.
Yeah, that's right.
You cannot ask the person about their mental state.
That's correct.
That's right. The HIPAA law to ask somebody.
Well, see, listen, I work with people with disabilities, and I knew that.
You cannot
that was
ask
one
them.
reason why I didn't feel like it was my responsibility to check a file.
It wasn't like the man.
It's not
like the gun
it's not my
seller.
business.
The man who sold the gun, he couldn't ask that young man, "Are you crazy? You got a mental problem?"
You're right.
Yeah, but the situation with you, but the situation, Olivia, the situation with you was totally different. They gave you a card to go and do the job. Okay?
And the assistant director of the board of elections, he concurred everything. He thought he was being smart on this side, but he freed you.
I'm gonna tell you something else that they did that was absolutely stupid beyond repair. Was to sit up there and have that damn fool have him read your testimony. Everybody knows. Me and this boy right here sit there. When he did that, we went to grinning and kicking.
No,
She didn't even have to take this thing. She didn't even have to take this thing. And they took everything she put on.
They wanted them to hear what you said.
Yeah.
And they realized it was damaging the deal. Even Martin said, Your Honor, I don't think, normally that's not how they go. You know, usually you just read what's there.
But wait a minute.
But no,
can I throw something in? But I want y'all to listen to this part, because I think this is really worth listening to. The judge said, if the G.B.R. didn't find nothing on her, and if the Secretary of State didn't find nothing on her, well, why are we here today? I said, who?
And Martin pointed over to the prosecutors.
He did say that.
Didn't it?
Before they did their open argument, he said that about that. The judge wanted to know why the hell we said that.
I'm gonna tell you what, that's right. He was complicit in that foolishness all the way to here. They were mad because of what happened in what you call him. His ass was just trying to do what Rump did. Rump did this.
Who's Rump?
Trump.
Oh, Trump the Rump?
His name is Rag. Because I know you went to college.
Oh, that's
One question.
You went to.
One question I wish.
Listen. Go ahead.
One question that I wish the defense had asked the jury, not expecting an answer. How many of you ladies and gentlemen needed help the first time you were confronted with a voting machine?
But see, that was reasonable.
Hold up. To that defense now.
Yeah, that was
to that defense.
Right.
Before when they questioned the jury this morning.
That's right.
Before you got that, they asked the question was, you was there the first time. How many of you were voters? How many were non-voters? About 8 hands went up. Remember that?
Yeah, several hands went up.
Several hands went up. They don't vote.
Don't vote. Right.
The several hands, huh?
I missed the question.
No, you was out in the box. You was in the jury.
You in the back. You in the back.
You was in the jury.
He's saying once they got the jury, that's something that they should have asked them just to make them think. Everybody the first time they did it. But what Ian tried to do was use the analogy of a cell phone. A cell phone and a voting machine.
He was dumb for doing that. That was dumb.
When the girl answered to your mama defense, wasn't the Robinson girl?
Robinson.
She was very specific about what she said. Have you know how you said, oh, I had to get help to set it up.
Everything that happened in this case was one, it started with a lie. You cannot make a lie true. Whenever you hold fast to the idea that lies will never succeed,
Seems like they succeed a lot.
Sometimes,
but then it probably don't go all the way through. It might get somewhere. But in the end, it ain't gonna succeed. And another thing, see there? Now Robert Preston printed the other 3 took pleas. But she decided to roll the dice and take it to trial. Well, first of all, she has a lot to lose if I was convicted or took a plea. They didn't have anything to lose, but now they got a criminal record, and she ain't got them. I ain't never got a criminal record, and I still don't have one.
But you better, I'm gonna tell you what though, you better let your passion slow down for months. I'm gonna tell you why. You're looking at a nigga.
They're looking for it. They're looking at it.
That's right. You're looking at a nigga who had to leave Brunswick, Georgia for years, okay, to let the whole action die down to come back.
This is the Get To Free Press, and we report what others ignore. This is your First Amendment right to know without whiteouts from a controlled news media whiteout network. And we are located in Valdosta, Georgia, and we are here to inform, educate, and persuade if necessary. Always keep that in mind. Moreover, I want to say to you that as a community, state, nation, and world, we are not who we claim to be, but who we prove ourselves to be over a given period of time. And if we are a liar, time will tell. And if we are racist or hater, time will tell. And our righteous and holy God already know. So you are only fooling yourselves. Again, the Ghetto Free Press. I'm George Foster Rice.
That's